Yeah, to have matching medals is pretty cool. It's going to make our holiday afterwards a lot more enjoyable. So, yeah, happy with that.
Pretty relieved. I remember when I was a kid, my coach who taught me to lift, and he also coached me here at the Commonwealth Games, one of the coaches. So, well, for one thing, I got to be coached at the Commonwealth Games by the man who taught me to lift 13 years ago. But I remember when I learned to lift, he used to introduce people to me and he'd say, this is so-and-so, you know, he did this in the Commonwealth Games and that. And so, like, it's really nice to finally, now when he introduces me to people, I get to be one of those where he says, this is Jack, he's British record holder and silver medalist at the Commonwealth Games. So I feel like a real weightlifter now. I
remember about September 2011, I was down watching Jack train at Europa. Zoe was training as well, and I obviously looked quite bored. And they both went, come on, pick a bar up, give it a try. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure. So I picked the bar up, and then here we are, 6.5 years later. Pageants came around about the same time. I won my first one in 2012 with Miss Leeds, and then I've got another one now to prep for when we get home. So, yeah, I like to keep myself busy, and the way I look at it is like weightlifting is now my job, and then pageants are like my hobby that kind of runs alongside it. Because if I just think about weightlifting, I go out my mind. So it gives me something to, and it gives us something else to talk about in the house. Otherwise, it's just weightlifting in our house, and it gets a little bit much sometimes.
There's no point moping about it, there's no point crying and saying, oh, my funding's gone, blah, 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 because we do the sport because we enjoy doing it, and it doesn't matter whether I get paid for it or not. I wanted to get a medal at the Commonwealth Games.
If we're doing it for the money, we'd be in the wrong sport. So.
Yeah, so you make do with it, and now we run a business together, which is really cool, actually, and I enjoy doing it, so, you know, we'll make do. I think the word you used was done the job right. That's how I feel, like we've to get medals, and that's exactly what we've done. So I was so happy basically when you got that medal this morning, because we've got a 2-week holiday booked up.
It's all about social media, isn't it? Give them those pictures of doing you, Jack. Oh, there, I'll move there, that's better.
Yeah, there was a point, well, I say a point, I genuinely didn't think I was going to be lifting yesterday. I got onto the platform, like, to warm up, and it just, I'm sure the stars must have just aligned, and I don't know, it just so happened that the back injury that I've been dealing with was not hurting at that point. So I was like, okay, we've been given an opportunity, let's take it. And it was nowhere near my best performance. I'm under no illusions that I was setting the world alight with what I did yesterday, but I did what I needed to do. And yeah, I'm pretty happy to come away with this nice piece of jewellery. So yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of in shock a little bit, because I told my boyfriend to go to bed and not watch it. It started off quite tough, because I went from literally training was like my life. It's a thing that I did with my time. And I could do that as and when, pretty much. It wasn't the most exciting experience, but there we go. It was obviously working. So yeah, I went from doing that to basically having no funding and having to find a job for like the first time in my life, which is quite embarrassing to admit because I was 22. So I started working in a cafe in London, and it was a lovely place to work. It was just too much for me. I was doing too many hours really to train effectively, because I was on my feet, like pulling long days, like 10-hour shifts and things like that, and trying to train afterwards was quite difficult. So I really wasn't getting the most out of my training. So I just kind of, as much as I enjoyed that job and I liked living in London, I just kind of thought, what is going to be best for me, the athlete? So I decided to relocate to Loughborough. It has actually, up until the point, been going really well. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I just want to get back to the UK and get myself fit and healthy and make sure I'm on form. Obviously Tokyo Olympics is just around the corner for people, and the crowd would just be mums and dads basically. It was a very niche sport, but it's got much bigger.